Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's simple little project what I've come up with is I've made several over the years, and what I'm referring today to is a tripod mount. A lot of you guys will hit flea markets, swap meets and whatnot and find cheap tripods. The range is about $5. Most I would pay for a tripod. That's if it's missing the actual camera mount. Let me show you what I'm talking about and how you can make your own simple tripod mount in less than about 5 minutes, give or take. Alright, stay tuned. Well, alright guys, here's the tripod that we're going to be building the mount for today. It's $5. I purchased it at the flea market probably 6 months ago or more. It's been just sitting in my bedroom. Haven't had really use for it, and since I'm starting a new channel list in my YouTube playlist, I figured this is going to become an indoor camera. It won't be my travel one, not like the one that's holding up the camera today. The one that's holding the camera is the Vivitar VPT120. And yes, I had made a camera mount for it as well. So how we're going to start today's project, I have a piece of just some flat steel that I found laying on the bench. And this is a 2" by 1/8 by 36", which obviously it's not 36". 2" by 1/8 by, I don't know what the length is. This is just a scrap piece, couldn't be more than 3 inches long, give or take. And what we're going to do today, take a simple flat piece of steel, and what you want to do is, for your camera, I'm not sure the measurement, so you might want to take the camera itself or the mount. And what I use is, believe it or not, I have a selfie stick. Here's the actual selfie stick, and it has a camera, a cell phone adapter for the selfie stick is what I use to mount my one of my old cell phones to the camera mount with. And what you're going to do is you could take this to the hardware store and find the thread pattern, or take the camera and softly insert different nuts and bolts till you find the bolt that's going to fit. It's really the only two pieces that you're going to need for making your own camera mount. Simple flat flat plate steel and a nut and bolt. What we're going to start out with today is take the flat steel, and if you notice, this is just basically a square. It recesses in on the sides and the front as well. And if you notice, which is going to be kind of hard to show you, but this piece right here tapers down. Starts big at the top, tapers down. So what I'm going to do is line it up so that way we get the edge here. And we're going to just mark it so that way we can go ahead and figure out just like so. What I'm going to do is basically go ahead and cut this down from this point straight, just to have a smaller piece that I know that will fit in between both of these, and that it will slip under this little groove right here, and that it's going to be long enough that once you pull this piece back, you'll be able to lay it in here, slip it in forward, and when you bring your locking piece in, that it's going to pinch it nice and tight. That's just how simple it is to get started. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is finish marking this across, get a nice straight line, and we'll go ahead and proceed to go ahead and cut the extra metal off. What I'm going to do to go ahead and mark it is find one of my squares. Since I know we know the roughness, just use a simple little square if you have one. If not, you could just use any kind of ruler, measuring tape, whatever you can use to help you make a straight line, just like so. And what I've learned over the years, framing and different things, go ahead and put an X on the piece that obviously is not going to be needed anymore. But just like most of my scrap metal parts, this will just go into my little scrap metal bin. You'd be surprised what you can use little pieces for. Alright guys, let me go ahead and cut this. You can cut it with various ways. Hacksaw, sawzall, angle grinder with a cutoff wheel, whatever you have at your disposal, go ahead and use it. I've got every one of them. I've got chop saws, I've got whatnot. So I'll go ahead and get this cut, and we're going to come back to the smaller piece, and we'll show you how to cut it to get it to fit, and proceed on. quick cutting, nothing major. Now we got the piece done. It is going to be kind of hot from the cutting process. It'll also have, you should be able to see it, there's going to be a little bit of burrs, but we will take care of that just in a moment. Bringing it back to the piece, we're going to just double check, make sure it needs to fall into the right into the slot. As I can see, is I've cut it just a hair too big, which is rather be better to be just a hair bigger than too small. What I'm going to do is just put this back into the vise and just run the a flap wheel over this just to bring it down a hair. Alright, what I've got is the little piece back. After just running it across the flap wheel just to slim it down because I want it just to fall in there. And don't worry about the looseness, because if you notice, it's going to slip about roughly a quarter of an inch into this groove. Now what we need is, because this piece tapers down so much, we got to figure out the total end. We're going to have to figure out the total end length, because what we want to do is we want to be able to slip in, drop all the way flat with this piece all the way out, and what it's going to do is pinch the piece in there. I think I'm going to need roughly about a quarter of an inch is from what I see. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and mark it, cut it. We're going to cut a total of right around a quarter of an inch. Now this is for my application. You'll have to modify this design to fit your specific needs. Well, alright. Now that we have the piece cut, and what I did is the same thing I did for this width-wise, is the same thing I did for the total end length. And the reason is, cut it, then very slowly just take a little off, test fit. You don't want to remove too much on this point, because this is the most critical part. If you notice, I open the lock here, insert it the quarter of an inch, and drop it down. It falls perfectly, but if you notice, it's almost tight, but it's going to have a little wiggle room, which is a good thing. Due to the taper that I have, once it's in there, locked, the piece doesn't move. Now, once I retrieve the piece out of there, I have the specific bolt that I'm going to need. What I'll do is go ahead and pull this out, give it a good weld all the way around. If you don't have access to a welder, you could use JB Weld or some kind of compound of sorts. Just make sure you buy the correct one. But that's really about it so far. Let me go ahead and give this a tack weld and we'll be done. Well guys, here we go. Got the finished little product. It's nothing to it. Like I said, you either can weld this or just use some kind of epoxy to hold the two together. I always recommend welding. Just something quick, simple, and easy. Take our piece, drop it in. After it's painted, there you go. It's locked in. Mount your camera, whatever you want to mount to it. Now you got what I have a $5 investment in. Cost me nothing to go ahead and fix up, so it's completely usable. Easy way to go ahead and get cheap tripods and not spend a fortune on them. These run about $20 to $100, give or take. You can pick it up for around $5 to free. Most people are giving them away. You can also find them at Goodwill and different stores like that. So let me know what you think. As always, please rate, comment, subscribe. Subscribe is right down there. And always, hey, thumbs up, guys, if you think this is a cool, creative idea. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I appreciate it.